For centuries, Mount Shasta has stood alone, not just as a towering peak, but as a place where reality itself seems to blur. Unlike most mountains, it doesn't belong to any range. It rises 14,179 feet, an isolated giant in Northern California. But its loneliness is the least mysterious thing about it. The mountain is a magnet for the unexplainable. UFO sighting, time anomalies, underground civilization, and people who disappear without a trace. Some return disoriented, unable to recall what happened. Others, they never seen again. Pilots report electronic malfunctions when flying over its peaks. Local whisper of a hidden city beneath the mountain, home to an ancient advanced civilization. But could Mount Shasta be more than just a place of mystery? Some researchers believe it holds a connection to something much older, much deeper, perhaps even another world. Across the globe in Himalayas stands Mount Kailash, a sacred peak said to be a gateway to Shambhala, a hidden realm of wisdom and enlightenment. Meanwhile, Mount Shasta is rumored to be the entrance to Agartha, an underground world where an ancient civilization allegedly continues to thrive in secrecy. Some even say that survivors of Lemuria, a lost continent that vanished beneath the ocean, took refuge inside Shasta's cavern. And if this isn't strange enough, the US government has been watching Mount Shasta for decades. Reports suggest that they have detected strange signals within the mountain. Military drones have mysteriously crashed over its summit. But what exactly did they find? And more importantly, why has none of it ever been declassified? We'll get to that soon. But first, let's answer a simple question. Why is Mount Shasta more mysterious than any other mountain in the world? Most mountains are defined by their height, terrain, or weather condition. But Mount Shasta, it's in a category of its own. Unlike other peaks, it doesn't belong to any mountain. It stands alone, towering over the landscape, as if it was deliberately placed there. But its isolation is just the beginning, because what happens on and beneath the mountain is what makes it truly unsettling. For centuries, travelers and researchers have reported bizarre energy anomalies around Mount Shasta. Compasses spin uncontrollably. Electronics fail without explanation. People experience sudden temperature shifts, as if stepping between worlds. And then there are the disappearance. Hikers disappear even in broad daylight, in open fields with full visibility. Search teams find no footprint, no sign of struggle, just empty space where people once stood. Some who return have no memory of what happened. Others lose hours, even days. And then there is a case of the 3-year-old boy. In 2011, a family went camping near Mount Shasta. Their son was walking right behind. Then, in an instant, he was gone. For hours, search teams combed the area. No track, no struggle, no sound. Then, after 5 terrifying hours, the boy was found. But what he said next sent chills down his parents' spine. He claimed that a woman who looked exactly like his grandmother took him into a cave. But something was wrong with her. Inside the cave, he saw strange, motionless figures with glowing eyes standing completely still. The woman examined him, almost as if she was checking for something. Then, suddenly, he was out again, alone. His story was so disturbing that his grandmother later admitted something shocking. Just weeks before, she had camped in the same area. That night, she blacked out, waking up face down in dirt with a strange puncture wound on the back of her neck. But this was in an isolated case. Many who go missing at Mount Shasta report strange encounters upon returning, if they return at all. But before we go any deeper, a quick question. If a mysterious figure ever kidnaps you, drags you into a hidden cave, and starts examining you like some kind of a science experiment, wouldn't you at least want to remember what happened? Because according to the legend, people who vanished around Mount Shasta often come back confused, disoriented, and worst of all, without subscribing to this channel. Don't let that be you. Hit that subscribe button before you get sucked into the next dimension. Alright, now back to the mystery. For centuries, Mount Shasta has been linked to a lost civilization, once that existed long before recorded history. A civilization that, according to some, still exists beneath the mountain to this day. This is the story of Lemuria. Long ago, Lemuria was said to be a vast continent, stretching across the Indian Ocean and the Pacific. It connected India, Sri Lanka, Madagascar, Australia, and even the parts of South America. Unlike Atlantis, known for its technological advancements, Lemuria was said to be a spiritual, enlightened civilization. They understood energy field, interdimensional travels, and consciousness itself. They lived in harmony until disaster struck. According to legend, a massive cataclysmic event, either a flood or a shift in Earth's crust, erased Lemuria from existence. But not everyone perished. Some survived and they fled to Mount Shasta. Many believe the Lemurians didn't die. Instead, they retreated underground beneath Mount Shasta, where they built Telos, a vast hidden city. According to believers, Telos is not an ordinary city. It is a self-sustaining utopia filled with glowing crystal temples. The air vibrates with a strange harmonious energy. The Lemurians possess advanced knowledge beyond human understanding. And here's where it gets even stranger. Early European settlers reported sighting of tall, robed figures with radiant skin and glowing eyes. Locals whispered these were the Lemurians, beings who occasionally surfaced but avoided human contact. In 1904, a British prospector named J.C. Brown was hired by a gold mining company to explore Mount Shasta's caves. What he claimed to have found defied all logic. Deep inside, he allegedly stumbled upon massive golden artifacts, statues, shields, and hieroglyphs in an unknown language. 27 giant skeletons, some over 10 feet tall, arranged inside a hidden tomb. A mysterious worship room filled with glowing crystals. For 30 years, Brown kept this discovery secret. Then in 1934, he gathered a team of scientists, researchers, and treasure hunters to uncover the truth. But on the morning of expedition, J.C. Brown vanished. He was never seen or heard from again. Was it a hoax, or did he find something forbidden? Skeptics argue that he fabricated the entire story. But if that's true, why did he disappear? He never sought money. He never wanted fame. He simply vanished, leaving behind more questions than answers. And his story isn't the only one. Over the years, there have been countless reports of sealed passageways beneath Mount Shasta. Some claims these tunnels lead somewhere deep underground. Others believe that they connect to a larger global network of hidden civilization. If that's true, could Mount Shasta be a gateway to something far greater than we have ever imagined? Mount Shasta is not the only sacred mountain surrounded with mystery. Across the world, in Tibet stands Mount Kailash, a peak so revered, so untouchable, that no human has ever set foot on its summit. But here's where the things get stranger. Both Mount Kailash and Mount Shasta are linked to hidden civilization. Both are said to be entrances to underground world. Shasta to Agartha and Kailash to Shambhala. Both are known for unexplained time distortions and strange energy fields. Is this just a coincidence, or are these mountains part of much larger hidden network? Unlike Everest, which has been climbed thousands of times, Mount Kailash remains untouched. Even expeditions to reach the top has failed. Some climbers vanished without a trace. Others aged rapidly, their hair turning grey within days. The few who survived never attempted the climb again. Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain traditions warn that Mount Kailash is not meant to be climbed. It is the spiritual axis of the world, the gateway to Shambhala. But what is Shambhala? Buddhist texts describe Shambhala as a hidden paradise, a land of enlightened beings, a city invisible to the unworthy, a place untouched by time, a kingdom that only the spiritual awakened can enter. So could Mount Kailash be the physical gateway to Shambhala? And more importantly, does Mount Shasta serve a similar purpose? Some researchers believe that Mount Kailash and Mount Shasta are not just isolated anomalies. Instead, they may be part of a hidden global network, one that connects sacred sites across the planet. Ley lines, a mysterious energy grid, connect both mountains. Both are rumored to have tunnels leading to underground civilizations. Time behaves strangely at both locations, aging visitors at unnatural rate. Could these sacred sites hold the key to ancient knowledge, or are they guarding something we are not meant to discover? One thing is certain, both Mount Kailash and Mount Shasta remain heavily restricted by government, by legend, and perhaps by forces beyond our understanding. For centuries, Mount Shasta has been a hotspot for legends, disappearance, and UFO sightings. But while most people see these as folklores, there's one undeniable fact. The US government has been monitoring Mount Shasta for decades. From classified military operations during World War II to a mysterious drone crash in 2008. Something about this mountain has drawn the attention of intelligence agencies, geologists, and even the US Air Force. But why? During World War II, US military intelligence picked up something strange. Low-frequency radio signals coming from deep within the mountain. The signals followed no known pattern, almost as if coded. No known source was ever found. At first, the military suspected a hidden army base, but after multiple reconnaissance missions, they found nothing on the surface. This led to an even stranger theory. Were the signals coming from inside the mountain? Then reports from American fighter pilots made things even more bizarre. Compasses spun widely near the peak. Navigation systems failed for no reason. Some pilots reported seeing metallic objects hovering before they vanished. And the military's official stance, they refused to comment. But whatever they found was enough for the US Air Force to launch a classified surveillance program over Mount Shasta in the 1950s. Decades later, in 2008, a new mystery unfolded. A US military drone was conducting aerial reconnaissance over Mount Shasta. Suddenly, it lost all GPS connection. Before crashing, its infrared sensor detected a heat signature near the peak. But here's the chilling part. The heat source did not match any known structures or geological activity. Military teams sealed off the crash site. The drone's black box data was classified. The official cause never explained. But what was the military really looking for? Are there underground bases beneath Mount Shasta? Over the years, whistleblowers and independent researchers have made bold claims that Mount Shasta houses an underground facility, one the government already knows about. The military patrol have been spotted in the area with no official bases. That certain caves near the mountain are mysteriously off limit. And the strangest part, some aircrafts flying over the region have disappeared from radar, only to reappear miles away with no time lost. What exactly is happening at Mount Shasta? A lost civilization? A government experiment? An interdimensional gateway? One thing is certain, something about this mountain remains deliberately hidden. And the deeper you dig, the stranger it gets. Mount Shasta is a mountain of paradoxes. Some of its mysteries can be explained, others not so easy. For every scientific explanation, there's another classified government file, another eyewitness account, another unanswered question. And the biggest question still remains. Why do people keep disappearing, sometime in broad daylight? What was the unknown heat signature detected by military drones? Where were the mysterious radio signals coming from? And why are UFOs seen entering the mountain itself? The deeper you dig, the stranger it gets. Is Mount Shasta hiding a lost civilization, a secret underground facility, a gateway to something far beyond human understanding? Or is the truth even stranger? What do you think? Drop your theories in the comment and let's see how deep this mystery really goes. And if you want more mind-blowing ancient secret, check out my deep dive on Lemuria, the lost civilization that may have fled to Mount Shasta. Or even better, check out the entire playlist on my channel about ancient advanced civilization and the clues about lost technology. Because the mystery doesn't stop here. There's always another secret to uncover. This is Harry signing off. Stay curious.